Righty. We are here. We are ready. It's time to get started. Ooh, gotta fix my board. Usually don't have that. Wowzers. But, I did a lot of board changes yesterday to get, we were using chess.com because they were showing Levy Rosman. So I was messing with my boards a lot yesterday. So I'm not surprised that they're still a little bit wackadoodle. Hope everyone is fine. Life is good. We are going to be reviewing games that our buddy SudacusChess is playing at the National Open. And we can go over a little bit of what happened yesterday. He ended up losing the last game, which we do not have. We do not have Game 6. So I really want to get Game 6 in here, but right now we don't have Game 6. But we do have Game 1 from today. And interestingly enough, he played the same opponent he did in Game 3 yesterday. And in Game 3, if you guys remember, the opponent was, kind of bad etiquette, didn't know what he's doing, I think, as far as etiquette, and ended up asking for a draw like 10 times. Totally not correct, right? You don't do that. And he did. So, there's that. So, let's see. For live stream, let me accept somebody for live stream real quick and then come back. Okay. So, this is an interesting problem that I kind of predicted was going to happen. I wouldn't say totally predicted, but I'd say I kind of considered that and mentioned that I thought it might happen. And basically what it is you seem to have, hey bro, wow, okay, wait, you're my first today. This is the first time, so Murph has been my first one time, and now you, my brother, are my first chatter. So I'm kind of excited. I like it when, you guys make it as the first chatter. And you rarely are on my stream and rarely seem to chat a lot. So I'm extremely excited to see you here. So there you are. You are the first chatter today. Awesome sauce. Thank you so much for being so. All right. So I was just talking about a prediction I made. And bro, I think you would have experiences possibly, but you will see it even more so, I think, is going to happen. And basically what I think the problem is, what I think is happening is that a ton of people watched the Beth Harmon show, right? The Queen's Gambit. Great show. Great. I loved it. Really good. Little quirks, right? And think about some of the quirks in the Queen's Gambit. So one of the quirks in the Queen's Gambit is that she talked to her opponent. They talk smack a little bit. Like, do you see it now? Do I have to prove it to you? Come on. And I told you, we talked about this. There's no talking. You can offer a draw. That's it. No talking. And Sudakus is telling us that people at this tournament have terrible etiquette. He only played in one tournament before this, and it was 20 years ago, and he knows the proper etiquette. And these people that either watched the TV series through Netflix about the Queen's Gambit, that one, or they've been playing online, right? They've been playing tons online now because of COVID and everything else, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go play in the National Open. And they get there, and they, don't know etiquette. And he put up with already more than I would have at a tournament. Doesn't mean you have to get into fights, but I would have been schooling the person on the proper etiquette and calling over an arbiter if I had to. So he was telling me about his last opponent yesterday, which he lost to. His last opponent yesterday. First of all, the only thing you have to provide at the National is a chess clock. So both him and his opponent are supposed to have a chess clock. So it seems like Sudakus is always providing the chess clock. Okay? It doesn't look like they're sharing. The other person, as far as I know, he's provided a chess clock every game. So he's playing this guy. About in the middle of the game, the guy goes to slam his clock. To say, your move type, but slamming it. So first of all, he's slamming somebody else's clock. And even if he thinks it was provided by the tournament, you don't go slamming other people's material. I don't understand why people would treat other people's possessions that way. Okay. But he goes to slam it, misses. And Sudakus is like, wow, what a jerk. Also, the guy showed up with, dark glasses on. Sudakus called it something, I forget what, but shows up with these dark glasses on and was acting like a jerk. All right, so he's rude, acts like a jerk, slams the clock, misses the clock, but he slams it. And Sudakus said, should I even tell the guy he missed his clock? Should I tell him? But he's acting like such a jerk. So Sudakus went back to studying his, figuring out what he wants to do. Took some time, figured it out. Yeah, okay, a few minutes later, and he says, Sudakus says, you didn't hit your clock. And the guy goes all crazy. Hey, Jams. Guy goes all crazy. He says, cursing, and slams the clock. This time he gets the clock and slams it. Sudakus like looking at him like, hey, it's my clock, man. What you doing? But he didn't say anything. He just bit his tongue. And like I said, I wouldn't have. I guarantee you I wouldn't have bit my tongue. I would have been like, hey, that's my clock. You want to treat it with a little bit of respect, or you can get out your clock and we can use yours and we'll slam yours. What are you doing? I would not. Even though you're not supposed to be talking, the guy's already talking, cursing under his breath about himself for forgetting to hit the club. All right. So then near the end of the game, the guy has a mate in 3. Sudakus sees the mate in 3. The guy notices he has a mate in 3. So what does he do? He talks to Sudakus and say, I think that's mate. So Sudakus tells him, just move. Move your piece. And the guy did. He made the right move. Sudakus moved. He made the right move. Sudakus moved. And then he checkmated him. But he's like, what a jerk. And yes, I think it's because of that feels right out of the Queen's Gambit show. And of course, when you're playing online, you can do whatever you want. Hey, Chill Comet! Thanks for the raid, guys. Hey, welcome to the stream. If any of you are new, let me give you our rundown on how we do our stream real quick. We go from Mondays. We usually introduce a principle or concept. We have a tournament immediately afterwards for all of my viewers. You get to play. You're actually playing for the under 1800 World Championship, but right now it's only 1800. So we're going to be it's a chill raid. I like that. But we're going to be changing that maybe and adding a 2000 under 2000 because a lot of my viewers are either strong enough already or becoming strong enough. Or becoming strong enough that they can't even qualify, so they don't get to play. Wednesday afternoons at 11, I go over. We review games from Monday, looking for the principles or concept we taught. Friday, we play viewers. I get to play viewers, and I try to make sure that I do things that will exemplify the things that we taught on Monday and went over on Wednesday. So that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll be right with you, the Mind Stain, 1 second. On Saturdays, I usually do Hand and Brain with my buddy SudacusChess. He teaches me Spanish. I try to speak only Spanish during this hour. And we play Hand and Brain against anyone, but mostly viewers. Sundays, I give one-on-one lessons, and you can read about that in my About page. If depending on how you're doing it, it's below. And you can read about it, and it's pretty cool. All you require is to be a subscriber, and you can sign up, get on the queue, and you get a 2-hour lesson. All right? So, hey, Joe, how's it going? All right. So that's basically how my stream goes. I stream about 5 days a week. Like I said, lesson. Tournaments involved. We have an under 1800 World Championship. Correct? So the Mind Stain right now, it is only an under 1800 bracket. We have just finished the 3 qualifiers. We do qualifiers every Tuesday. It's going to be every Monday when school starts again, but right now it's every Tuesday. So, Hope Chess Expert, I like it. So, we do that for the first 3 weeks, and then the 4th week, which is this coming up 3 days from now, this Tuesday, we have the Candidates Tournament. So, you have to have qualified in one of the three qualifiers, to then be able to play. Hey, how's it going, Apprentice? You have to qualify. To qualify, you have to come in the top half. So you have to be in the top half of the qualifiers tournament. We take up to 4. So if there were 20 people in the qualifier, only the top 4 would go. Now, when I say would go, you have 3 different tournaments to try it. All you have to do is qualify once, and you won't have to qualify again. So we have opportunities. But you do that for 3 tournaments. We have that for 3 tournaments, 3 qualifying tournaments, and then we have on the 4th week the candidates tournament. It goes from being an arena tournament for the qualifier to being a Swiss tournament, a more serious tournament, Swiss style tournament. You can take your time. You don't have to worry about. You're not trying to win as many games as you can. There's no berserk. There's no arena streaks because it's a Swiss. The top player out of the candidates tournament, the winner of the candidates tournament, will play that Friday against the world champion in a one-on-one match, best of 5 games. All the time controls are always the same, 10 plus 3. All right, so that's the World Championship. I am looking very seriously at expanding it to also have an under 2,000 category because, again, a lot of my students are becoming stronger, and so now they're disqualified for the under 1,800, and we have a few that started off over 1,800. So here's the info on the 1,800. You have to join that team, and it'll be the same way to get on to the 2,000. Now, after you've qualified, I have 7 qualifiers. 7 qualifiers. We had 3 the first tournament, 1 the next tournament, 3 the next tournament. We have 7 that have qualified for the candidates, and the candidates will be a Swiss Styles tournament that I set up a new team. I have a team called the candidates. You get invited only to that team. You're the only ones invited on that team, and we do a Swiss tournament Tuesday night. All right. I have no idea. Magnus Carlsen, unless something's changed. All right. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right. So let's go. We are reviewing, by the way. So if you're 2150, no. You could join the team. You could join our club. We also have team battles. We just finished this past Tuesday. We had a team battle against 4 other teams. 4 other teams. And the 4 live stream came in, I think, 4th out of 5. So we could use you on the 4 live stream team. But at 2150, you would not qualify for the under 1,800 bracket. The same way you would not qualify for the under 2,000 when I do that. So here is, as an example, the U.S. Open. Let me go full screen for you guys for a sec. And what we have here is you can go and look at the Vegas Open and see all the different divisions that they put together for the tournament. Oh, you came in 3rd. Flavio, I'm sorry. Lo siento. Mi amigo, lo siento. My fault. Mia culpa. Mi culpa. Apprentice, thanks for the follow. Apprentice, thank you for the follow. I also wanted to mention to everyone that for you guys that have followed the stream a lot, we hit 200 followers. I didn't even realize it, guys. It just happened the other day. We're up to 200 followers. And so you're number 201, Apprentice. Thank you very much. I think at some point, we're going to have to celebrate a certain amount of followers. But the people on the stream know we're not really worried about like becoming thousands and thousands. Hey, Mac Unfiltered, thanks for the follow. What we're really looking for is... Thanks, JMZ, for the applause. Yes, what we're really looking for is engaged viewers that want to get better at chess. Right? That's what we're all about. That's why we teach. That's why we give lessons all the way through. And there you go. Oh, you know everyone knows Flavio. Why am I asking if you know Flavio? All right, so if we look at the Beginners Saturday, the Beginners Friday is over. That is a full tournament. By the way, they put out the winners, and they actually won money. Let's take a quick look at that. I just want to show you guys because, so we actually want to look at the results, and we want to look at Friday's results. All right, check it out, guys. So the top 4 in the beginner section, by the way, 174 participants yesterday. 174 participants. The game is done. It was finished. I mean, the tournament was done. It's like a full tournament on its own. 6 rounds, 30 plus 5 they did. And the first place got $200. And then second through third, there was a 3-way tie for second through third. They split the $300. They got $100 each. Now, how exactly that works, I don't know. But there were 3 tied. Oh, because second and third. So it was whatever it was. It might have been 150 and 150. I don't know. But whatever it was, they ended up splitting it. So they got $100 each. So the top 4, actually, the top 4 players, but the top 3 spots were supposed to get money. And so that's kind of nice. Now, I don't know how much it costs, but that was day 1. They could turn around now and in day 2 win money. And on day 3, Sunday, they can win money. And it looks like they have an overall that they're also going to do, which I didn't know about. But the beginner section overall looks like they also have prizes if you play in enough, right? So the overall results will be available soon, which of course they don't have the results yet. But that would be pretty cool. So maybe, they figure out your rankings altogether. If you play in more than one section in one day, then you can also win an overall, which I'm sure will be even a bigger prize. Oh, really? Excellent. Yeah, I got to check that out. I joined the team. I need to talk to you, Flavio, so we can maybe promote it a little bit here. And, of course, I'm sure you already know all the other streamers I know, like SudacusChess and the Chill comment. Thank you again for the raid, Chill. The Modern Ancient, who I don't know if he's streaming much right now, but you know them, Hannah Witter, all the ones that played in our Mayhem tournament. So you know a lot of the streamers I do. Yeah, we might want to promote that up a bit. I still want to know more about it. Because I want to know, like, are we as a team going to go challenge other teams? And you're going to have like 10 or 12 playing. And if we're all 10 or 12 on the team, are we going to be every one of us streaming our games? That'd be pretty cool. That, on SudacusChess it shows you who's streaming. And it would be like there'd be like 10, 20 names on there. That'd be so cool. Okay. Anyway, so yesterday, let's take a look where our man, right? We're all about supporting our man. If you guys don't know, is our good friend, SudacusChess. Took me forever to get to pronounce that properly. So if you mess it up, don't feel too bad. Oh, no, not up there, guys. Over here, I got to do a Control F. All right, so he came in 110 with a 2.5 score. 110, 2.5 out of 174. Okay, so not in the top half yet. We want him to be in the top half. We're really shooting for the top half. So we're hoping he could do better, right? We want him to do better. We want him to be in the top half. Now, he doesn't have to win. We're not all about just win, 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 but we want you to improve. But we're cheering for him. We're also cheering for Selenia Hokai, which is another streamer. So Flavio, if you haven't invited Sudacus and Selenia Hokai, there goes 2 more right there for you. I know you know them well. So Selenia Hokai, hey, he finished 20 out of 174. That's very good. He can be proud of that. He finished out of 6 rounds with a 4.5, 1 loss, 1 draw. That was a good day for him. So we can be proud of him. All right, so now we go to pairings for Saturday. We're going to go to the pairings for Saturday and see where they are. Oh, yeah, Flavio. Yes. So, the pairings for right now, let's see. Joseph, who is Helenia Sokai, already has... No, sorry, that was Friday. I got to look for Saturday. I got to make sure we're on Saturday. I almost told you the pairings for like yesterday. I don't know why. Come on, let's go. Waiting for the computer to catch up. Here we go. All right. So, we're going to go look for our man again. Manuel. And Manuel, look at that. He is playing on board 4, and he has 2 wins already. He had 2 wins at the time. He was playing Ryan Fogelman. So, There you go. Now I got to show you a fun thing, guys. I got to tell you something funny. So I looked at least I think it's funny. I went to the beginner Saturday first thing in the morning. I want to see who he's going to get paired up with. And if you guys remember, he played a game already against a guy called Theodore Carney, named Theodore Carney. And our hero had black. And this is the one where the guy decided to offer him a draw like 10 times, right? Just kept offering him a draw. And right here, he takes with the queen. I don't know if you guys remember, we went over this yesterday. Yes, Joe. Yes, you need to have focus and concentration, and I actually use it for little kids. It's a great way to help little kids, actually even with ADHD type of symptoms. You get them learning chess, and they super focus, and they calm down, and they can concentrate. So I would say definitely. How's that? So he was baiting him to take here. And Sudakus thought, I can't do that, because if he takes here, he can come after my queen with a discover check. I think he could have anyway just come up, let him take the queen, come here and block off, and then when he comes after your pawn, then you could worry about it. I think this is all still playable. I mean, even this, you could pop in here, you could get in here. I think you're looking fine. I think he could have played it. I think he could have played it, and his opponent would have had disconnected pawns while you would have had a passed pawn. No, I'm lying, because it's not a passed pawn. You would have had a nice potential passed pawn, two isolated pawns. Hopefully one of these pawns drop, and you would have a passed pawn, or you'll make one over here. I just think it would have been an easy, clean game to win this game. But instead, Sudakus looked at it and said, "Oh, tricky. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take the free candy." Oh, actually, see, this is where, if he had taken this free candy, it makes you wonder, right? I guess he would have gotten this one. Okay, he would have gotten that one. Never mind. So he didn't want to give up that, but this still now threatens to win the queen. So the queen moved back here to trade. Now, here I would not want to trade, but maybe you have no choice because you're still going to drop the pawn. But if you trade, you help him fix his pawn, and now you only have a potential passer here, and that's what happened, and they got into this tight game. By the way, the guy doesn't know proper rules or etiquette, because when he takes here, Flavio, Sudakus thinks about it and does this move, and the guy out loud says to Sudakus, "Oh, I thought I had you." This is not allowed, guys. You can't do that. Many reasons. And it's not just that it's poor form, right? If you ever watch Hook, I love movies. Not just because it's poor form, but it's illegal. And if you don't know why it's illegal, I'll try to explain it to you. You can gain an advantage by psychologically messing with your opponent. It's why when you go play in Washington Square Park in New York City, or any other place you're playing speed chess, and they're playing for $10 a game, they're going to talk to you all game. Because it's not an actual tournament. It's not a rated USCF controlled and right? So they're going to talk smack to you all day long. And it's illegal. It's just illegal. And so they'll do that. They'll talk smack to you and try to mess with your head. And you end up with an unfair advantage if you're talking smack. So things like, "Oh, I thought I had you," right? Now, let's say Sudakus just missed this, right? Let's say he's a beginner player, because they're all beginners in this section, and he just truly, "Oh, I could have taken your queen." By him saying, "I thought I had you," would make Sudakus go, "Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I could have won the guy's queen. I can't believe I missed his queen." And then Sudakus is going to be upset for the rest of the game. "I had his queen. I didn't take it." That's why it's illegal. I watched Slide Chess play last night. I was watching Slide Chess, and he had a free queen. The guy just hung his queen. And so I don't like to talk during the game, right? I want to do it after the move where you can't get it anymore. So I reminded him there's 5 things to do when you're being attacked. 5 things. When that queen moved, there was 5 choices to make. And one of those choices, and usually the best choice, is to take the piece. So he needed to look around and say, "Can I take that piece? Can I take that piece?" And if he had looked with that mentality, he would have found it and taken the piece. But he said he himself has a problem where he's always thinks the person isn't going to make a mistake, right? He figures, they're not going to give me a free piece. So he assumes the person made a move because it was a good move, and so he doesn't do it. All right? This is it's a national tournament, as in run by the USCF, because it's the national open for the United States. But we have international players, of course, can play in it. We have international grandmasters playing in it. Yep, and they are now. One of the things that they used to do, Zemenes, I don't know, I never remember how to pronounce that name. You got to give me a phonetic explanation. So, but they used to, if you had a FIDE rating and no USCF rating, they'd make you unrated. So you can have FIDE grandmasters from, say, Russia, who come over to the United States to play in a tournament, and they could go play in the unrated section, or in any of the other, like under 2,000 or under 2,300 or under 2,100, and win pretty decent money at some of our opens. They were doing that. So finally, the USAF woke up and said, nope, we're going to treat FIDE ratings like equivalent of this USCF rating for all of it. Because otherwise, it was totally messed up. Right? Totally messed up. All right, so you can't talk during the game. You just can't do it. And the guy did. And like I said, it could throw you off. Like when I told SudacusChess that he missed a queen, he looked at it, reran it, said, oh, you're right. And then for the rest of the game, he was talking about, I can't believe I missed a queen. I can't believe I missed a queen. It messed up his mind, right? It messed with his head. Same thing here. Same thing here. You got to be the same problem. That you can't talk. You can't say, I thought I had you. You can't do it, guys. And he's got people doing that throughout. I think it's because of the Queen's Gambit, and I think it's because we have so many people falling in love with chess now, but they've only played online, so they don't know proper etiquette at all. They don't even know the rules for a tournament. Not the rules of chess, the rules of a tournament, and they do bad things. Here's another example. Yesterday, Sudakus had, against his first opponent, which he lost to, the guy touches a piece, takes his hand off, and says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch that piece, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch that piece. None of that is allowed. Just shut your mouth and play. You can't do that. So Sudakus, being nice guy that he is, says to him, it's okay. Like, go ahead, move a different piece, it's okay. And the guy thought, and then ended up moving the piece. Now, Sudakus thinks the guy didn't realize what Sudakus was saying, that, he thought Sudakus was going to hold him to having to move the piece. I think he just realized he still has a good move, and so he moved the piece. But the point is, you can't be doing the, I'm so sorry, I touched that piece. Let's say you're doing the, because you can't do the Rosen thing, right, that he does online. He doesn't do it in person, guys. But you can't do the Rosen thing like, oh no, my queen. Oh no, my queen. You can't do that, baiting somebody to take your queen and get checkmated. Right? I mean, you can't talk to win a game. You can't use your mouth talking to your opponent to find ways to distract him or to anything. You can't do any of this. You can't do it. So the guy, I'm sorry I touched the piece. He could have been just lying through his teeth. He could have been like, actually, I meant to touch that piece. I want you to think I didn't mean to touch that piece. So when I move it to this great square, you're going to think it was just a blunder. And therefore, you'll take it and I'll win the game. I'd want to take the guy out back and beat the crap out of him. Because it's not legal. It's not even legal. Much less fair or good sportsmanship. No, none of it. You cannot talk. I teach my kids in my class from day one, they can't talk during a chess game. And here they are these people are doing it. And the guy he played in the first round with all the I didn't mean to touch it was a grown man. No, they're not loosening the rules, but there isn't an arbiter, walking around at every table. You have 174 people only in the beginner section. So arbiters are in the room, but they're not watching every game. And they hear people talking, they'll usually do like I do when I direct a tournament. Shh! And if I hear somebody talking more, I walk over and I go, you're not allowed to talk about anything. What are you talking about? oh, well, I was asking him if I can get up and go to the bathroom. And I tell them, no, one, you don't ask them. Two, you can't talk to them. Three, you can get up and go to the bathroom on your clock. They don't stop the clock. You're not allowed to stop the clock. No one is. And I go, oh, okay. These are little kids I'm teaching. So even at my tournaments, yeah, they don't always remember the rules, even though I explain to them every time before we play. Every time before we play, we have a little meeting where I explain to them the rules, which include all these things. But they still forget, right? And while they're playing, they get excited, and they might ask, "Oh, can I do this?" Or, is it legal to do this? And I have to go over and tell, no, you can't ask them if it's legal for you to castle in this position. You can't do that. So I don't think they're loose on the rules at all. I am sure they're not loose on the rules, but someone has to come over and tell them, right? Or you have to tell them as their opponent. You look at them and go, "You're not allowed to talk during the game. Please, I just want to play. If you have a problem with that, arbiter, could you please explain to them the rules about talking during the game?" I love it. I love it. After one, right? They get one warning. If they do something wrong again, you're out. I'm all for it. I'm all for it because it ruins the game. It ruins the game. Can't let people do it. And especially, again, my theory is that we have so many people that are so excited about playing chess now because of the Queen's Gambit TV show, the Netflix series, and you add on to that the advent of playing online, where everybody's playing online now, that when they go try to play in a real-life, in-person tournament, they make these mistakes. So, anyway, so this guy, they ended up playing out this game, and it ended up in a draw. And after a while, I think there was inaccuracies played. Doesn't mean that I think there was a forced win, but I think White made enough mistakes where there should have been a forced win, but it ended up with a draw. All right. But the thing that was annoying to Sudacus is the guy asked for a draw every move, like for 7 moves in a row, which is also against the rules. Now, we looked it up. We couldn't find how many times you can do it and all, but I still need to find my rule book. Sorry. I said I was going to look it up. I didn't have time. So anyway, that was that game. So now we have his first game today. I looked it up. Same guy. Now I'm thinking, Sudacus, beat this guy. I just want you to beat this guy. I don't care about any other wins today. I don't care if you don't win another game in the tournament. Beat this guy. And hopefully, if he plays the guy with the sunglasses again that slammed his clock, first of all, I wouldn't take out my clock. I'd sit down and go, "Oh, you again. Where's your clock? Let's use your clock." And the guy goes, "Well, I don't have a clock." I go, "Well, we're not using mine because you slammed it twice." Arbiter, this guy doesn't have a clock. I have mine. He slammed it twice last time I played him. Yeah, he needs to buy a clock. Take him over to the store. Buy a clock. Bring it back with you. I mean, I would. Anyway, so he gets to play the same guy with the draw. Now, I gotta look and see what happened. All right, we have information. Ratchet, are you out here? He says today, so far he has 3 wins and 1 loss and a pounding headache. His head has been pounding. He says it's been over 102 degrees at night. After dark, it's been 102 degrees. And he's trying to stay hydrated. He says he thinks he was hydrating well enough, but he's got a killer headache, so now he's thinking he's not been hydrating well enough. But he said, I've got to thank, he says, please thanks Ratchet for his last win, which we know what that means. He played the Caro-Kann, and the guy did a certain variation that Ratchet did against him that made Sudacus go off and study it. And Ratchet asked about it, so we could tell Ratchet. Sudacus says thank you for that win. So we have 4 games to load, guys. We have all 4 games from today. I still don't have the last game from yesterday, but that's okay. We're going to load these games and look at them together. So Sudacus had White playing against the draw guy. We'll call him the draw master. All right, so the guy plays the Scandinavian against Sudacus, and let's see how Sudacus takes on this game. This will be interesting. I'm checking it out on my phone. He sends me via email or message. He sends me a picture of his score sheet, and then we have to translate it, make sure we can get it. And if you guys ever have played in a live tournament, you all have to keep score. When I teach my in-live class, the first day, after we learn what all the pieces are called and how all the pieces move and what the rules are of the game, we immediately start keeping score. And every game they play in my class, every practice game, every study game, they got to keep score. And I give them, I don't have one with me handy, sorry, but I give them a 50-game scorebook. Every semester they get a new scorebook because I'm happy if they fill them up. Right? And this is all before I ever played as many. I didn't even think about online chess as being such a haven for playing. We play online. We play in real life all the time, right? That's what we do. We study together. I have my class. We have by the way, all of my students, I pay for them to have a USCF membership, and all of the students have to play in one tournament during the semester. And so I hold the rated tournament, so they all play in a rated tournament. But they all learn to keep score right away. Why? Not because it's required for the tournament. I teach them to keep score because that's how you can have a legacy. You can see every game you ever played. Now, of course, if you played all your games online, they're there. Lichess saves them all. You could download the PDFs, right? You could download the PNGs or PGNs. So you could download all of your games. But when you play a real life game in the park, in a tournament, like Sudacus is playing right now in the tournament, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. You have no way to prove, you have no way to show it, you have no way to remember. And I've told you guys before, my dad taught me how to play chess when I was 8 years old. Now, my dad died, I think it was about 10 years ago. I'm terrible at years, time, passage. I don't even know how old I am half the time. But my dad died, and I miss him greatly. And the one thing that I always did with my dad, whenever I went to visit my mom and my dad, you know, like some people, hey, we go watch a baseball game, or we talk politics, or we talk this, or we do that, or we, you know, whatever. The one thing I did with my dad, we broke out a chessboard and we played chess pretty much the whole time. We could talk about other things, but we played chess. That was my thing I did with my dad. So, I found, when my dad died, I was able to find games that my dad played in tournaments that he had kept score of. And I could look over that game, and it's my dad. I know the moves my dad made. I mean, it's nice to see his handwriting, which was horrendous to read. But the best part, he practically goes, thanks for the follow. But playing over a game he played, just, I can't explain it. So you guys gotta, I mean, you want to write these games down. Now, again, online, it saves them for you. But online is not the same as in person. Ask Levy Rosman. Hey, thanks, Practically Ghost. I appreciate it. You think about it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, his games live on forever. As long as I have that score sheet, as long as the Florida, where he was at the time when he died, their chess club that he was starting to play in tournaments, because he had never played in tournaments, and I got him to play in some tournaments. Hey, Jody. So it was awesome, right? Because they actually did an article, and I wrote the article, and they published it, and it had one of his games in it. So it's a nice thing to have, right? You can always look at it. But in person is almost totally different in my mind than online. Ask Levy Rosman. Levy Rosman has been doing a recap of every one of his games after he plays, because they do, like, I think it's 2 hours for 40 moves, and then they get another hour or so for another 40 moves. It's crazy, right? Long time. And they're only playing 2 games per day. 1 game the first day, 2 games every day after that. So you take that, and after he plays, he's going back to his hotel room and doing a recap of his game. Yeah, it's good. I love it. I watched it too. And the part I love about it is he's so authentic. And he talks about how he considers himself a nearly retired chess player, right? Because it was just burning him out, destroying him. He was like, I can't play anymore. He had stopped playing serious chess. He'd stopped playing tournament chess. And now he's getting back into it and trying to. But he's playing the game, and he's talking about his ups and downs, his highs and his lows, and how he's like at one moment going, oh, I got him. This is great. What a great idea. I'm so excited. Of course, all in his head, guys. He's not talking out loud, as we just discussed. But he says all these things, and then, you know, the next thing he does, he makes a move and it goes, oh, and then the guy found this move that I didn't see at all. In fact, he said a couple of times on yesterday's that I watched, I was sure he couldn't make the move, and he ends up making the move that I was sure he couldn't make. Which just shows you, even I am, analyzing the position, doesn't find all the answers, right? I mean, we all make mistakes. But his highs and lows, ups and downs, and he talked about the stress of playing real live chess. Sudakus told us that yesterday he played 6 people. He played 6 matches, and every person he sat down from, that sat across from him, was shaking. Like, oh, I'm going to move that king somewhere. I mean, they were shaking, literally shaking. He could visibly see them shaking. Why? Because it's stressful. You might say, I'm just playing for fun. I don't care if I lose. Everybody cares, guys. Everybody cares. So it's a different animal playing, and you got to keep score. And I've talked before about the differences here, right? I know guys that are playing online, and they do this. They do this all day long, right? Do this all day long. Okay, and then what happens? Right? Then they move the bishop. And I'm like, yeah, you can't do that in a real chess game. You can't go and touch the knight and go, I really like my knight. I'm going to turn that knight a couple of hundred times, and then I'll move the bishop. No, because the guy will tell you, excuse me, you touched the knight, you have to move the knight. You can't do it. And how many times do you see people, and by the way, online, in elite chess especially, I know you can even say, my move won't count until I confirm it. So I can move the piece here, let go of the piece, and then take it back until I hit confirm. You don't get a confirm button, guys. Also, you can pre-move online. You cannot pre-move in real life. You get down to 10 seconds on your clock, you're like grabbing that piece, putting it down, hitting your clock. Now, do you guys know the rule? I move my piece. I knock over 3 pieces, putting my piece there. Can I hit my clock and go fix those pieces? No. You got to fix the pieces on your 10 seconds. And so if you're playing against somebody and you knock over their pieces, you hit your clock and you go to fix them, that guy should hit your clock back immediately and say, as soon as you fix them, feel free to hit your clock. Right? Beautiful stuff, guys. Yeah, you can pre-move in your head practically, Ghost. I'll buy that. You definitely can. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I got to look at chat. Anything? Yes, less time you think you have, the less time you will have. Okay. Does everyone care about what? I'm not sure. But Jody was quoting somebody else. Yeah. Levy Rosman. Yeah. It depends. Okay, practically goes. I hear you. Okay. So all of that being said, for why? Why did I go through that rant? Because I got to tell you, it's important to keep score. It's a different animal in real life than it is playing over the board. And over the board versus online. And we're going to see, because Selena Hokai, and we know our man SudacusChess will both probably come out of this with, while Selena Hokai had never played, he's going to have 18 games under his belt. Whatever rating they give him is going to be pretty close to a stable rating, right? I think it's 21 to 25 games. And Sudakus might actually have the stable rating. And we can look at their ratings on chess.com, Elite Chess, and now we'll be able to look at their USCF rating, and we'll see how accurate online is versus whatever rating you would have in real life. Okay? All right. All right, so where are we? Oh, so in this game, we gotta capture this game, guys. You got me off on a side note, tangent rant. Sorry. Yeah, I know you didn't do it. I did it. I did it myself. But let's get back to capturing the game. So we got we have a Scandinavian for the moment. Let's see what happens. Knight to f6, knight to c3, attacking the queen, saying go out, get out of here, go find a new home. So that's nice. Queen to d8. By the way, the other thing that you have on paper, you don't know how long these moves took. You don't know if they were in time trouble. Sometimes I will go afterwards and make a note and say, here is when I was in time trouble, so my game suffered after that point. But unlike the computer, you can't see that. And there's no bar to let you know if you were doing well or not. But anyway, queen goes back to d8. Definitely a playable version of the Scandinavian. We get d3, we get knight to c6, especially now that the bishop can't come out here and pin him, because we moved the pawn only 1 instead of 2. Again, I don't play against the Scandinavian 2 much, but my gut would tell me I'd want to play it all the way. I'd want to try to control and eat up the center, but hey. Knight to c6 was played, bishop to e2. We're developing, and we're going to castle, which, by the way, seems very unnormal for our man Sudacus, because he is one that we have to talk him into having king safety most of the time. He's pretty daring most of the time. And now he has the ability to castle to either side. So I am, if you didn't notice, we are discussing, kind of, sort of, analyzing. Hey, Sai, how are you? How you doing? We're kind of, sort of analyzing, not too much analysis, but we're looking it over on the fly. By the way, that was funny too. I went and looked at Roseman's recap, right? And he talked about all his permutations, how many moves he was thinking ahead, and he was trying to figure out all this stuff. It was so good. I love the authenticity. And then you go watch Hikaru Nakamura do a review of Rossman's game, and he's like going through, and it was a game he hadn't seen yet. This is the first time I'm seeing a game, and he's playing over the moves. And as he's playing, well, that's bad, and you can't do this, and this is obviously not, and this is obviously, you would lose this because of this and this, and he's rallying through those things so fast. It was hilarious if you looked at them side by side. Maybe I should, but somebody should make a YouTube clip where it shows Rosman talking about him thinking through a series of moves, and then Hikaru Nakamura looking through the same series of moves, flying through why some variations were playable and some weren't. It's amazing. I will tell you guys one other thing that struck me, which I like and don't like, okay? So one of the things that struck me about Rossman's review of his own game was that even 10, 12, 14, 15 moves deep into one of his games, he said, I was struggling because I couldn't remember if I'm supposed to do rook here, or bishop here or something, right? So, yes, that is it in a nutshell, Sai. I totally agree. So, but he was trying to remember. He wasn't trying to figure out. When I teach, I try to teach people how to figure out the best moves. He was trying to remember at this point. Now, he figures out later. But it was like, hey, I've already studied this. I know it. I've memorized it. But I can't remember it. Dag. Now, if you're my age, remember things is hard. 1. 2, at my age and with my family situation, I got a job, I got a lot of things going on, I don't have time to memorize openings. But a lot of these IMs, and I'm finding GMs do it too, they study, as in memorize opening lines. Memorizing opening lines. And if I'm going to get to be a national master, right, no norms, you just get to 2200 over the board, I might have to look at memorizing some openings. I find ways to make my life easier with openings by playing forced openings and playing very few of them. But even then, I get used to them really well that way, but I wouldn't say I've memorized deep lines. But these guys do. They do a lot of memorization, guys. But anyway, for those like me who don't have the time to memorize, I think the principles and concepts we teach, we're there. Yes, I've played the Yoko piano. Let me just check up on chat. I don't mean to ignore you guys at all. Yes, Lichess is very inflated, but to be fair, it's a funny thing, right? Lichess is inflated, and if we go look real quick, and I have not played enough games, in my opinion, on chess.com to have a stable rating. Right? I don't think my rating is solid yet. That's just my opinion of my own rating on chess.com. I'll just say that. But here my rating is 2122 rapid, and rapid includes 10 plus 0, which is quick chess in over the board, which is my better rating, and I'm 2000. So this is only like 100 over my normal rating. And in classical, I still have a question mark. I have to play more games. I'm at 1978, and in real life, I'm 1958. I've been as high as 1987. So I don't think these two are so far off my abilities. I think they feel right now correct. Now, granted, I've not played as many games as a lot of people because I'm either streaming or doing other things. I don't get to play just fun chess. So I got to check chess.com. I don't know. But again, I don't have to do that because we have two guys that just played in their first tournaments in years. SudacusChess playing in his first one in 20 years, and Selenio Hokai playing in his first one ever. So we can see what their ratings turn out to be, and then we'll know. Because that's 30 plus 5, which is equivalent here to classical. All right, guys, pressing on. So Sudakus had the ability to castle either side. His opponent castles king side. Sudakus does not castle yet. He says, let's get rid of the bishop and see what we can have happen. Depending on what happens, maybe he's going to throw some pawns at him. We'll see, but he decides not to castle yet. Bishop takes bishop, which is almost never the right move. Okay, if you guys have played these openings, right, we almost never take. You can move the rook away, and then later you can even drop the bishop if white doesn't take, but you almost never take. Almost never take. So, kind of shocking, but he takes. But these are beginners. These are beginners, guys, so we know mistakes will be made. And then knight to d4. Interesting choice, hitting at this pawn. Could have thrown this one in to chase the queen, but it doesn't mean the queen doesn't have squares to go to. And later, this is what we're looking at for later. But right now, he's trying to get a pawn or the bishop, but the bishop is protected. So, don't like it. Overall, I don't like it. Bishop isn't developed. The queen isn't developed. Sudakus is, for first game in a while, I think, he is way further developed than his opponent. He's looking good, guys. I'm thinking he's looking really good. So knight to d4. Sudakus castles queenside. Yeah. Let's go. I just did. Practically goes. My opinion. It's not. You very rarely take here, pull the queen over, and get your knight and get an attack going against you. So I did. It was me. No books. No, I'm not using a computer. I abhor using a computer to analyze a game. I want to analyze it based on the principles and concepts that I've learned and understand, and then other people can do the same. Anyway, that's me. So we got a queenside castle. We have knight takes bishop, gets rid of the bishop. By the way, again, is that a good move? I say no. Why? Because that bishop was doing nothing. That bishop was trapped behind enemy lines doing nothing, and even if this knight moves, it's going to take forever that bishop to get anywhere, to do anything good. The bishop might have been nice here, but where it was doing nothing. It had no threat. It was a bad piece. And so I think we're trading a good piece for a bad piece, and it took us 2 moves to do it, which means that we took 3 moves total. So we just traded our developed piece for another developed piece that you moved 3 times, so this bishop is still not moved, the queen is still not moved. And we have a weak black square. And so again, I think this dark square, taking the bishop is bad because you have a weak dark square. Granted, it's not as bad as it could be because you also gave away your dark squared bishop. All right, all that said, we're pretty positive. We're going to get knight takes knight, and we do. We get knight to g4 like I told you. Nothing wrong with that. Queen to h4. Nothing wrong with that. And we get a6 asking for a trade of queens. By the way, that pawn would fall, right? But if we take queen first, he's not going to take here, of course. So we could take queen first and then protect the pawn. So let's see what he does. He decides to not take, but he comes in for an attack. Now this looks very dangerous because the queen is pinned. The knight is pinned. So if you push forward, where does the knight go, right? Because if the knight moves, queen takes queen. Well, I guess you could come back here. But queen takes it, and then if queen takes queen, knight takes queen, then the knight takes the pawn and wins a rook for a knight and the pawn. So this is not looking good. I don't know how he ends up winning this game. We gotta keep looking, guys. So again, they are beginners. They are beginners. So we don't see this move. Oh, I see. Yeah, here we could take here, and we get double pawns, which is bad for black. And we can even get this pawn move in. We get this. Okay. All right. I'll buy it. Sudakus probably saw that he could just take the knight. Which makes me wonder, why didn't he just take the knight? What am I missing, guys? So he sees the discovered attack. He forgot the bishop just got blocked. So if his opponent had done it properly with pawn to e5, now it's protected, and now you're attacking, And now we can play it differently. But I'm sorry, his actual move just allows a why not why aren't we just taking the free candy? And so this comes to one of our principles and concepts that we've been talking about, guys, recently. Besides the 40 that I've shown you, you guys remember the 40? I can bring it up. Let me see if I got the 40 handy. All right, let me grab the 40 for you guys. We do have our 40. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we have our principles. Here we go. So we have over 40 principles that we've been working on to focus on, and we're up to 40 now. We are up to 40 principles. That's a lot. And one of the ones that I've noticed that has been a real problem for middle range beginners, right? Beginners, middle range beginners, is analyzing first, before anything else, how did the board change? And I think part of the problem is that Levi Rosman actually teaches checks, captures, attacks, and threats is last. But anyway, I want you to know, how did the board change? So let's do that. If you looked and just said, how did the board change? That pawn was attacking here and here. That pawn now is attacking here and here. Change number 1. 2, that queen couldn't go there. Now that queen has a free reign all the way through. My queen has a free reign all the way through. How else did that change the board? Well, besides not attacking these squares, the bishop, which had all of these squares, right, we can look at, that bishop only can go here. So that bishop is stymied. All right, any other changes? Do you see any other changes? And I'd say no, but if you notice that bishop can't go there, you might say, oh, that bishop can't go here. Free piece. Free piece. That's how I think you could find it if you actually analyze how the board changed. Now, to be fair to Levi, if you also went through his checks, captures, and attacks, you would have said, do I have a check? Yes. Is it good? No. Do I have a capture? Do I have any other checks? No. Do I have any captures? Yes. Do I have a capture? Yes. Do I have a capture? Yeah. Oh, free candy. I'll take that capture. Thank you very much. If Sudacus went through every possible capture, hopefully he would have found a free piece of candy. Okay. Okay. So he's not. Hey. He is a beginner. That's why he's in the beginner section. We love him, and we think he's better than unrateds, and he's better than even 1300. We're hoping, but in real life, 1300 is a pretty decent player, guys. 1200, pretty decent player, guys. In real life, 1200 is nothing to sneeze at. 1400 is very strong. 1500 stronger. 1600 is a very good player. In real life, it's tough. All right, so knight to g5, we get a mistake here, and then black follows up with a mistake. He just comes back to stop the mate instead of pushing the pawn, which the mistake is this guy was hanging anyway. So maybe he decided I'll bring him back. But anyway, so I don't know if this actually counts as a mistake. This was definitely a mistake, right? We could definitely, if we're going to mark the other one as a mistake, we should probably mark this one too. And again, I like doing it on my own versus having the computer tell me what's a mistake. So we have to elevate this one to the actual, promote that variation. There we go. Because that's actually what happened in the game. Knight to f6. We have f3. Okay. F3, we have b6. What is, I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's like he's ignoring any possible attacks. So let's see what happens. Knight to f4. Sudacus says, I'll bring in more pieces then. We finally get e5, which probably what it should have been a long time ago. And we get knight to g3. Not possible. Not possible. Knight to f4. Knight to f4. Just double checking his notes. e5. and he moves the knight, but he says g3, and g3 is not possible. So he either said either h3, back to e2. He could have taken g6. He could have sacked, but we don't know yet. Let's find out. Wherever he went, it looks like it says bishop took knight. So I'm going to bet it's h3. I'm going to bet it's h3, guys, because then he plays bishop takes knight, pawn takes bishop, opening up a file for the rook. Okay, so it was h3. And this is the fun. You know, he put g3 on the paper, but we make mistakes when we're keeping score. And it's why one of the things you do after you play a game, a lot of times you ask your, this is nice etiquette, it happens. You ask your opponent, hey, can we go over the game? Let's go over the game. And you go sit down and you go over the game, and while you're going over the game, you check your score sheet and you fix that baby so you have an accurate accounting of the game you played, because it's history. Sudakus can share this with his kids, his grandkids. I mean, this will live on forever, like we said. Anyway, so we have pawn takes bishop, pawn takes knight, pawn takes bishop, sorry. Where are we at? Pawn takes bishop. Okay, queen to d4. Queen to d4. Okay. Knight to e4. Nice square for it. Knight takes knight. And we get pawn takes knight. And here again, it'd be nice if Sudakus told us which pawn he used. I have no idea which pawn he used, guys. No idea. All right, he didn't do this one because the guy moved queen to d8. So we're going to say he had to have taken that way, because otherwise he would have just taken it with the rook. So he played queen to d8. Sudakus said, I'm not trading off my queen when I have double pawns. I want to still open up your king. So if we look at the game and see who's winning, right now Sudakus has down one pawn. They both have traded a pawn, but Sudakus has doubled pawns. So his pawn structure is definitely worse, right? Isolated rook pawns, but he has two semi-open files. So we know if he wants to win, he can't be trading the pieces. He needs to get rid of these double pawns and break open the king side. Not necessarily to checkmate, but to balance out what he has so that he'd be better off. Okay, so let's see if he can do that. He plays queen to g3, rook to e8, h4. Here we go. I told you it's got to come, guys. It's got to come. g5, don't get it. Don't get it. Don't understand it. Yeah, I don't get it at all. Oh. But he can't do it. I don't understand. You can't take with check. You just take back. It's free. So why didn't he just take the free candy again? h4, g5 is what he's got written here. I don't know why he didn't take the free. Maybe because he doesn't want to block the file? But that gives him up a pawn, guys. Pawns are valuable. Get this pawn up next and then play on this file. Oh my gosh, that's free candy. Ah, man. Gotta love free candy. He did not take free candy. He did not take the free candy, guys. And we come back to queen to d4 again, trying to trade. And this is where sometimes beginners, a lot of us, but beginners especially, will fixate too much on trading pieces because they think they're ahead. And they end up not playing the game because all they're doing is moving around trying to trade pieces. So let's see if that turns to be the case. We get queen to e2. I think he's thinking about coming in here, guys. That's I don't know if you want to keep him out of here. I like this better because it still does that and it keeps an eye on this angle. So I liked him better here, but hey, I didn't play it, guys. He did. Queen d2, rook to d8. I'm going to say he moved this rook. Don't know for sure. Rook to a1 can't be done. Rook to g1. And which rook? Don't know, guys. Don't know. Let's try this rook first, and if we're wrong, we can always put it back. King to f8 says I'm getting out of town. We still haven't taken the free pawn all this time. We haven't taken the free pawn all this time. So we had rook to g1, king to f8, rook to f4. That's impossible and bad. So let's say it's g4. I'm going to say it's g4. Rook to e7. Rook takes g6. What? There's no g6 to take, guys. Let's see if he took here, maybe? Why didn't he just take there in the first place? I don't know what's going on with the score sheet, but usually we can, if you look long enough and far enough, you'll find out what was really going on. Queen takes h5. Oh, wow, we're missing a boatload of moves, guys. So there was an h-pawn move at some point. Because he says queen takes h5. Rook takes rook. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I don't know. Unfortunately, the score is, you know, it happens. It happens. Oh, okay. I think I'm seeing what happens. Sometimes you guys, we miss a move, and it messes us up. No, I don't see where he did that. I'm not seeing queen takes h5, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, queen to e3 check. So I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea. I have no idea how this happened. I can't even guess at what's going on. Something's wrong. G5, queen f2, queen to d4 is what I got. Queen to e2 looks right. Rook to d8 looks right. Rook to g1 seemed logical. And then king to f8 was the move, but maybe that wasn't the move? But we had king to f8, rook to f4, which is not possible, rook to e7, rook takes g6, like I said, rook to d6. Okay, let's go back. Rook to d6, and then at some point we have queen takes h5. So I don't even see I don't even see h5 in here yet. It would make sense if the pawn, well, the pawn was all the way up here anyway. Okay, guys, we're gonna, I can't. We're gonna have to wait till we get with Sudakus and tax his memory and see if he remembers what actually happened in the game. Yeah, it's a bummer, but it definitely happens when you're taking score in real life. You make mistakes, guys. You make mistakes. So we're gonna have to put a note in here. Need help. The score taken was not score taken has errors. All right, so we need help from Sudakus. Let's go on to the next chapter. He did win that game though, so we know he won the game. So that's a good thing. This next one is a game he lost, and he was playing Anish Prabhu. Something, I'll look him up to make sure. And our man had black, so we need to flip the board. Let's flip that board. Alrighty. And we had a d4 opening. And Sudakus played f6. Okay. He's trying something new. I've never seen this before. I've never seen it out of Sudakus. He's obviously playing something different. f6. Okay. I know he plays the Indian. He might have played knight to f6. I'm finding it hard to believe he played f6. Knight to f3. We get bishop to f5. Okay. Yeah, bishop to f5. I'm still not sure that f6 is actually f6. I'm thinking it's knight to f6, guys. But we'll see. Knight to f3, bishop to f5, knight to c3. Knight to c3. Knight to d7. We get e3. Bishop to g4. Moving the bishop twice in the opening. Bishop to e2. We have g6. I'm betting it's a knight here. Bishop to g6. h3. Bishop takes knight. Bishop takes bishop. c6. And we get castle. Okay, bishop to g7. That's all still possible with the knight there instead of the pawn, guys. Bishop to g7. b3. Castle. Okay, so I was right. I was right. So let's see how well I can remember things. He went here. His opponent went c4. He went here. He went here. He went here. I believe is correct. Knight to f3, bishop f5, knight to c3, knight to d7. We get e3. We get moving the bishop twice. Don't like it. Moving the bishop to e2, playing g6 to fianchetto, which is the Indian system. That's fine. But h3, and then we take the knight, and for some reason we did that. Bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, c6, and then we get castle, bishop to g7, going faster, b3, castle. All right, so white's looking pretty solid, black is looking solid. Black is not aggressive at all, not attacking through the center, but he's waiting, biding his time, hopefully, to get going. So, wow, you guys have gone so super quiet. Is it because we're going over the game? I'm just making sure chat's working. Seriously, you guys have gone seriously quiet. That was weird. After practically Ghost, that's the last... okay, good. You guys are still alive. All right, thank you. Thank you, Sly. I appreciate it, man. I was talking about you, by the way. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Anyway, so we get, where am I? We get b3, castle, queen to c2. Gotta finish developing sometime. Rook to e8, hopefully anyway. Rook to e8, prepping, bishop to d2. And we get the break that he's been waiting for, e5. We get rook to e1. I'm going to guess it's that rook because, again, he's not telling me, so, you know. We get d5. He says, we're just going to just totally try to bust open the center. Interesting. Queen to c1. For later. You know, I'm not always understanding moves. Queen to c1, we get e4. He says, no, this bishop will not play for a long time. At least for a while. e4, bishop to d1. Let's undevelop the bishop. That looks like an IM level move. That looks just like brilliancies, right? And then I don't like this. He gives away free candy. Goes c5. Don't like free candy. And the free candy is this one is not only protected once. Yeah, you could take here, but but his opponent makes a really weird move, in my opinion. I don't know if it's any good, but that does not look good. That looks like I don't want my king to be protected at all. It's like an inverted fianchetto. Anyway, yeah, I don't like it at all, guys. Takes. Bishop comes back to life. Pawn takes d4. Pawn takes pawn. Which one? Which one? I don't know. Which one did you take? Oh, come on. Which one? I have no clue which pawn you took. Did you take this one or did you take this one, white? Oh, man. I hate it when that happens. All right. I see later it says pawn takes c4. So it had to be this one. All right. All right. That might help me get it. Pawn takes pawn. Rook to b8. Interesting. I don't see how he's going to... I mean, there's no pawns to block him. I don't get rook to b8. I know he wants to take here, but I just don't get the rook to b8 at this time. Bishop to h6. He doesn't bother chasing the rook around first. Okay, bishop to h6. He does not take here. He takes here. Bishop takes bishop. King takes bishop. Pawn takes c4. Alrighty. Bishop takes bishop again. No, we already did that. Sorry. Oh yeah, knight to b6. Knight to b6. All right. Rook takes rook. Let's clean that up, I guess. Knight takes rook. See, I don't. Why are we doing? Where are we moving that knight to? The knight. It was such a nice square. It's closer to the center. Knights like to be closer to the center. Why is he here? I mean, why do you move here? We maintain the attack, but we're begging him to push forward, and now he's going to, because we kind of begged him to. Anyway, so knight takes rook. Knight to d5. Doesn't do it. He brings the knight in. Okay. I'm thinking take, because if the bishop takes, then you can attack the bishop again. When the bishop moves, you win the pawn. Right, guys? What am I missing? The pawn takes, you're actually overall happy. You get the beautiful blockade, you get the double pawns, and you play on. If the bishop takes, we pile up on the bishop. And I don't even see how the queen, the queen could try to come here, I guess, to protect the bishop twice. It just doesn't feel right. But you almost might have to, because now if the bishop moves, that pawn falls. With a check, too. Anyway, Anyway, instead of knight takes knight, we get, so we had knight to d5, we had rook to c8. Another rook move, leaving this pawn undefended again, but threatening to take the knight and then win the pawn. If the knight moves, we get to take this pawn with check, so I guess there's some possibilities. Of course, the knight could just take here. You can still throw in the check and then take back with the queen. I like that. Anyway, but we have to elevate that play. So, sorry. Knight here, yes. Rook here needs to be promoted big time, because that's actually what happened in the game. There we go. We had too many variations, guys, going on. Okay, rook to c8. Knight takes knight. Knight takes knight. All right. Queen takes... Sudacus, you're killing me, my man. He played queen takes here. He had the pawn. He had this pawn, and then you take back the knight. You just got rid of one of the two pawns. Oh, you had a free pawn. In between move, guys. In between move. In between move. Look for checks, captures, and attacks. You can always come back and take him next move. Check. He has no way to stop him. He has no way to stop him. King has to move somewhere. Then you take the knight, and you just won the pawn. Oh, man, guys. It hurts. That hurts. Even at this point, he had good moves. I know he did. Knight takes knight. He played queen takes knight. Queen to c3. I'm kind of depressed, guys, if you didn't notice. I get this way. Knight to d6. Oh, let's give him a fork. Anyway, knight to d6. Yeah, he sees it. He sees everything he says. Oh, this can't be right. It says a6. That can't be right, guys. If he played a6, I'm pretty sure white would just take off his queen. No, he doesn't want to take off the queen because he trade queens. But why not? Take, and then take, and right? Okay, so he plays a6. He actually plays a6. Plays a6. All right. Because then if he takes, and the pawn is over here, he figures it's, and he's protecting that. Okay. All right. Boy, he could have had that pawn, though, a long time ago. Just depressing me. Anyway, bishop to d5. Let's see. So, queen to c3, knight to a6, bishop to d5. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what that's about. But we still have a fork going against us that we might want to get out of. So where were we? A6, bishop, d5, king to g8, guys. King to g8. What? You know, this is one of those where you could have said check. And then maybe he takes this way? No. He's going to lose his queen that way. What would he do? What could he do? He can't push the pawn because of check. He can't take here because of check. Yeah, forget the queen garbage. He's in the check. But, you know, you almost want to just take. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. So, we get this. King to g8. Weird position, though, guys. You got to admit, weird position. All right. Still have the fork, no longer have that. So the queen can go here, but now look, there was no check anyway. Sorry guys, there was no check. Oh, but if you push the pawn, there was. In my harebrained idea, yeah. Queen to f3, knight to f5. Isn't that just a free queen now? Huh? King to g8, queen to f3, knight to f5. Bishop takes b7. Why didn't he take the queen? What am I missing? Anyway, bishop takes b7, queen to e6. So it seems like it was there. It looks like he just missed taking off the free queen. Okay. He just missed taking off the free queen. Bishop takes rook. Maybe I'm not fantasizing. Queen takes bishop. We still have two passed pawns coming down. We have a g4, it looks like. G4. Knight to h6. Don't know what he's doing over there. Queen to f4. Don't know that he has any place to go after that. Check, attacking the knight. Queen f4. King to g7. Got to protect it. King to g7. h4. Coming at you. But the knight does have a square. Now. But anyway, h4. Queen to e6. g5. Knight to g4. Okay, decide not to come back. This does protect both of those squares, though. Okay. Knight to g4, d5. I love it that Sudacus is not giving up. You know that. I love it when you don't give up. Knight to g4, d5, e2. What? What? Queen to f7, checkmate. What? We're definitely missing some moves here, guys. Knight to g4, d5. At some point there's an e2 move, and then there's a queen to f7 checkmate. So we're missing a whole bunch of moves. Right? We have to be missing a bunch of moves. So I can only guess at what happened because I have no idea. I have no idea. Could just can't take, loses the knight. Could go here with check. He takes, you take back, and the pawn's going to make it. But I have no idea what he did in response. Maybe he went here, and maybe the rook came over, and maybe somehow he got himself trapped, because I still don't see how that's going to be made. Anyway, second game, same kind of problem. Yes, it was a Botez gambit declined. Yes, and so we have scorekeeping error on game 2. All right, but it was a loss anyway, right? So we don't care too much. Day 2, game 3. Let's see if we can get a third game in here. Versus, let's see who he's playing. On game 3, he's playing Stankovic. I'll have to look up the spelling of the rest of the name, but the last name is Stankovic. All right. And Sudacus does have white, and let's see if we have better scorekeeping. He did real well, by the way, the first day. First day, he did outstanding. He had no errors on the score sheets that I could find. We get the King's Gambit, and we get a declined King's Gambit. We get a Bishop to g4, pinning the knight, and we get Bishop to c4. All right, Knight to f6. Going to town, going to town. Everybody's developing. Knight to c3. I love watching Sudacus when he develops. Does my heart good. Knight to c6. Bishop to b5. What? He did it again. This is the second game now I've seen where he takes a piece that's already moved, nicely developed, nice square, and moves it one more time to pin the knight. It just seems like wasted movement to me. d5. His opponent immediately strikes at the center. Very interesting. Pawn takes d5, hitting the pinned piece. Could have taken this way too, but then he gets this take on his pinned piece. Black can push, but black can also just take. I'm sure black does just take. No. What? Pawn takes... Okay, d5. Pawn takes d5. He has knight takes knight. That's not possible, so I know he's got to move out of order. So I'm pretty sure this happened, then... I'm going to think that happened. Let's say that happened. I'm having trouble tracking, guys. I can't castle. He's lose the bishop. Okay, I don't know. He has knight takes knight. So he has pawn takes d5 for sure. That one is in the books. I'm confident that is correct. But then he has knight takes knight. Don't see that. It's got to be knight. It's got to be knight takes pawn, and then somebody castles, which would be. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see if this is the problem. Let's see if it's castle. He has bishop to c5 check. King to h1. Now he's knight takes knight again, so I'm guessing that's knight takes knight. The b2 pawn, he actually wrote it down this time. Thank you so much, Sudacus. Pawn takes knight. His opponent castles. Queen to e1. B takes knight, so I'm thinking as bishop takes knight. Rook takes knight. F6. Okay, I think we're on the right track. Rook to h3. h6. I feel like I got it right. Queen to g3. Pawn takes f4. Queen takes pawn. Queen to e7. Queen to g3. g5. Totally. Let's just open up our king. Rook takes h6. Good. King to g7. Rook to h3. Just come back. There's no white bishop, by the way. Rook to h8. Wants to trade. Bishop to b2. Okay. Decide to develop. Rook takes rook. Queen takes rook. Not only did it develop though, but he had to keep from getting a back rank make when the queen got pulled away. Totally logical. Bishop to f2. Not sure what the plan is. Not sure what the plan is. Don't see the plan. Bishop to f2. Queen to f3. Looking at a later attack maybe. I don't know. Knight has a nice move though. Then you move the bishop. Okay, so you lose the bishop. So anyway, queen to f3. Bishop back to c5. Says, I was mistaken. Ooh, that would be so much fun. Get him out of there, get him out of there. Oh, that would have kept the knight out of there too. You know, boom, boom, boom. I'm liking that move, guys. I'm liking that move. I'm liking that move. Anyway, what do we do? What do we get? Bishop to c5. We get bishop to d3. Infiltration time. Knight to e5. Like I said, that would have kept him out, and then you still could have done that. Oh, man. Anyway, knight to e5. Queen takes b7. Okay, grab a pawn. Right. Why not? Grab a pawn. Queen takes b7. Rook to e8. Still trying for a back rank mate. Right? Still trying for the back rank mate. h3. No more back rank mate, but the bishop might still be able to help. Got to be careful. h3. Knight takes bishop. I'm sure pawn takes knight takes bishop. Pawn takes knight. Good. Queen to e1 check. What? 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 Rook takes queen. Rook takes rook. This is not a score sheet. And h2 and bishop to d6, thinking he has mate, I guess. I don't know. h2. Bishop to d6 check. g3, no choice. Rook to e2. Does he have mate? I don't know. Rook to e2, I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. King to g1 only. Oh, that he could move there too, but he has another legal move. King to g1. Bishop to c5 check. Still trying. King to f1. Rook takes d2. Rook takes d2. Didn't go for the check and just let him move or go here. Didn't matter. Okay. Rook takes d2. It's not even under threat. This one is. Look at this. He could just stop the shenanigans. He could block the bishop. And could he have done that on the last move too? Right here? Yep. He could block the bishop. He could have just blocked the bishop, and he couldn't even. Then he wouldn't even have time to take here. So he moved. He ran away though. He didn't push. He should have pushed. Okay. So anyway, bishop c5 check. King f1. Rook takes d2. Queen takes c7 check. He's going to win the bishop. King to g6. Queen takes bishop. Rook takes bishop. We're trading bishops. I guess it's okay. Rook takes bishop. Queen takes a7. Get another. Why not? Rook to d2. It's going to play this one out. Queen to a6. Hit here and protect here, more importantly. Queen to a6. Rook to c2. Let's try to get that pawn. c4 says let's push. Rook to c1 check. King to e2. Could have went over to the pawns. Might have been a little safer. Rook to h1. And h4 says I'm going to at least, he's not, you're going to try to trade a pawn at least, not lose everything over there. So h4, 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 pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Rook takes pawn. c5, keep pushing. Pass pawns want to push. Rook to h2 check. King to e3. King to g5. c6, pass pawns want to push. f5, pass pawns want to push. c7, he doesn't even care about the check. f4 check, he says that's fine by me. King to e4, step by. Rook to c2, gotta stop the pawn, he says. Ain't gonna happen, just queen it. And he does. He queens it, takes. This game should be easily over. Queen takes rook, king to h4. And we hopefully, queen takes a4. Okay, he didn't take the pawn. Don't see why. He's got escape squares. And if, yeah, anyway. Queen to f3. King to f3. King to g5. Yeah, I don't know why we're letting him out, guys. King to g5. a4. King to h4. He's going to go back and forth. Maybe he's running low on time. Who knows? a5. King to g5. a6. King to f6. Says I'll go a different place. King finally takes the pawn. King to g6. a7. f6. What? King to f6. It must be because there is no pawn to go to f6. He made it a rook. He says, I don't want two queens. A rook is good enough. Back to g6. Queen to c5. Oops, my bad. Queen to c5. So that one has to get promoted first. Then what is all of this? All of this should have been promoted. Queen to c5. King to f5. Can't go to f5. Can't go to f5, guys. I'll say f6 because the next one is f7. Rook to a6, king to f7, and then he resigned. Okay, we got a whole game captured correctly. We got a whole game captured correctly. I missed it, SudacusChess. He had a bishop takes knight at some point. Let's see. So let me first just create this chapter, even though day 2, game 4 versus Fogelman. All right. So right now, our guy is up 2 wins, 1 loss, I think, at that time. 2 wins, 1 loss. All right. So in this game, you said there was a bishop takes knight back here? Must have been pretty far back. Let's see. Over here? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't work? Okay. Okay. Save us time. All right. See if we can get the last game that he sent me so far. This is the last game. And this game I can't wait to see because he says, thank Ratchet for me. Thank Ratchet for me. So he has black in this game against Fogelman. And we know what's coming, right? I mean, if you've been involved in our under 1800 championship, you know what's coming. Watch it. Let's see if it does. c6, d4, d5. Now I'm expecting this. And we get e5 first. E5. Oh, that's right. That's right. This comes first. Bishop to f5. Then we get the h4 threat. And the idea behind the h4 threat is we do this. He goes back. We take him off. If he goes here, we take him off. So e6 is what white is hoping that black just continues to do, like his normal opening would be e6, and then this wins the bishop. Okay, that's the hope. That's the hope, guys. h4, Sudaku says, now, I've played at least a couple of variations. I like this one. He found the variation he likes to play against this. Bishop to d3, he immediately takes. Bishop takes bishop. Don't know if that's right. Queen takes bishop. I don't know this opening. e6. All right, we get bishop to g5. And queen to b6, hitting the pawn that was just vacated. Knight to c3 does not protect the pawn. This is going to be an interesting game, guys. Let's see. So knight to f, knight to c3, c5. He says, nope, I'm not taking that poison pawn. Now, he could have, right? I mean, if he took it, he gets to go here. And then where do you go, right? This is your only square. Now, you could take here, because, yeah, you don't even get the check. Yeah, that might be problematic, guys. So, good job not taking the poison pawn. So, instead, we get the c4, c5 move. We get knight to f3. Knight to c6. Keep piling up on d4. Why not? Castles queen. Oh my gosh. Okay. All the black pawns, the pawns are telling you I'm going to attack queen side. I have a knight. I have a queen. I'm about to open up a file. What? What? Castle king side, right? Well, I don't know what this is, guys. It's a bad idea. Okay, so we just closed that off. Okay, all right. Queen to d2. I think it would have been fine to take 2 and open up the whole game because his king is going to be where everything's opened up at. But, okay, queen to d2. We get bishop to b4. Pin that knight. Why not? We want to trade off that knight, open this board up. We get a3. We get queen to a6. Beautiful. I thought something like that might come, but it doesn't really work. Or does it? No, it doesn't work, guys. I don't think queen to a6 works. I don't think queen to a6 works. But he plays queen to a6. I kind of thought he might be trying that. Pawn takes bishop. Knight takes bishop. Says, nope, if I can get my queen here first, then I've smothered mate, right? So if I get the check in, you bring it back, we get smothered mate. So he takes with the knight first. Now, he can't even go here right now. Smothered mate. All right. I like it, Sudacus. So where do you go with your knight? How do you stop this impending smothered mate, guys? I guess you have to move here, right? If you go here, I can't get in here. I can't get in here. Doesn't that stop it all? I think that stops it all. Let's see what actually happened in the game, though. So that was cute. That was cute. But I don't think it works. So we had knight takes pawn, king to b1, move I thought you had to do. Rook to c8. All right. Rook left coming maybe. Rook to c8, b3, and that's bad. Why? Because now the queen can get in. We're giving the queen an in. Why? You know, why would he do that? Queen has an in. The pawn can take and uncover the rook. What in the world? I don't understand people. It's good for us though, right? Us being, we are Sudaku's team. We are Sudaku's team. So that's good for us. We like it for our team. Bad move. Bad. I don't know what enticed him to do that move, but he did. Sudakus takes with the pawn, threatening nothing yet, but yeah, takes with the pawn. Why not? Pawn takes back, allowing the queen room. So this is where maybe, I don't know. Queen here, no real threats, right? And the queen could come here and stop you anyway. Okay, yeah, doesn't do anything. So the take, though, we open up. We do open up the king. The king is going to be wide open, guys. And your king is okay here in the center, and later can even castle. Anyway, so we had pawn takes, pawn takes. Knight to e7. Got to get the knight in the game. Need more pieces. Bishop takes knight. And king takes bishop. So the king is centralized. Has pawns blocking him. He's not in any real danger. No real danger. So the king is actually quite safe here. And even with these checks, you just drop back, you're fine. You can even come over here. Even better, right? If you get this check, we just move over. And now, when we take that rook, knight, the game is over because of check and mate. Anyway, so yeah, let's see what happens. But anyway, king takes bishop, king to b2, steps up. Not bad try. King to b2. King to d7. I thought he might have just taken. I thought he might just take. I thought he might just take. We do get this move, but we can do this at any time. We can also get this move in. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, we get king to d7. I'm not thinking too hard. My brain is getting fried, and I didn't have to play 6 games in the same day. Can't do this. Can't do this. Can he? He can't do that, can he? I don't see how he can do that, guys. And this check just wins the queen for the knight and the rook. So that definitely wins the queen for the knight and the rook, at a minimum. At a minimum. This is terrible. Oh, and it's not even that move. Okay. That's why. Sorry. It was knight this move. Yeah, this move didn't even happen. I just read it wrong. My bad. Knight to g5. Rook still takes knight. Yeah, Sudakus. See, I thought he could do that and before he moved over. So let's see what happens, because that's what I was I thought that would work. I didn't look at it deep enough, so I can't say I know for sure. Queen takes rook. If the king takes, then I think you just slide over the other rook, and I don't know. Or maybe knight here first. I don't know. But if the king took, I think it would have been a different game. We don't know. Anyway, don't know because it didn't happen. Queen takes rook. Queen takes rook. King to c. King to no. It's got to be rook to c1. Okay. What am I? Oh, what am I missing? So he has rook takes knight. Queen takes rook. King to c1 at some point. So this must have come. He missed a move. Okay, that had to be there. Because then king to c1. And now rook to c7, which would probably be rook to c8, skewering the queen. So he had to take with the king. He definitely had to take with the king. We get a take. We get a take. And then rook to d2. And he writes checkmate plus plus, which I think he means resign. So his opponent resigned probably because check mate. That's the checkmate. So he does say checkmate, but he didn't write the move. And he had rook to d2 under the, he had missed a move like I showed you. Nice win. Nice finish. Nice finish. Sudakus, nice finish. Nice finish. Excellent, Flavio. Let me know what his name is, and I definitely will hit him up with a raid. So I don't see his last game. So that was 3 wins, 1 loss. So he has 2 more games. 3 wins now. That gives him 3-1. So let's go see if we could find him and see how he's doing. So the other game probably has been done, but we don't know. So we'll refresh the screen and we'll look at results also. Let's look at results for beginner Saturday and see how he's doing. So he had 3 points, 1 loss, 3 wins. Curious. Man, I've been talking a lot. I need hydration. I can't believe that was like an hour and 45 minutes. So, yep, here he is at 3-0 with his 1 loss. Okay, so this is the most recent. And he was in 16th place. He's actually doing better than Selena Hukai, which did better than him the first day. So let's see where Mansour is. Oh, he's down to 40, guys. But he only has 1 loss also. He has 3 also. There is a boatload of people with 3.0. Look at that. Okay, so he has the same record. He just didn't tie breaks put Manuel above him by far, well above him. But Manuel needs to keep winning, right? So he had a win, loss, win, win, and he's playing A22, and 22 is Dane Bagley from Nevada. Did not have to travel. Who won, and lost against number 10. One of the, the higher finishing so far. So that's who Sudakus should be playing right now. If we go over here to the pairing, oh my goodness, what happened? Let's see the pairings for Saturday. Come on, see if you can do it. But we know who he's paired with. We just don't know if he's done yet. So I probably won't hear from him because he has 2 rounds. This one is going on. He may or may not have finished. And then he has a last round. And then with that screaming headache of his, I hope he gets sleep early. He needs to hydrate so he's not getting heat exhaustion. Want to keep our health. It's hard, guys. Playing chess, real life, besides the fact they're playing 6 games, it's hard, it's stressful, it's strenuous. You burn calories, you lose weight, guys. You will lose weight. I will guarantee you, you will lose weight playing chess tournaments. You will lose weight. People do all the time. It's just too stressful. It's like kinetic energy, right? It doesn't go anywhere. You're sitting there, you're stressing, you're focused, you're so focused, and like Sudaku said, everybody was shaking. It's strenuous, guys. I know. When I played in tournaments, you enjoyed it. It was fun, but it's competition. It's scary. It's scary stuff. I used to have a problem. I played basketball my whole life, but never organized. And I would go, like when I was in the military, I signed up. I'd play organized basketball with referees. I never had referees, and these are just other airmen, right? I mean, it's not like they're professional referees. But I'd have these referees, which I'd never had before. And so I would stress out. I would stress out, and I would play, I call it like I was a spazoid. I was so bad. I could not play good. I could not play good. I played horrible. And I don't know, it was because of the, I was just used to it, not used to it, and playing with referees really made it difficult. Really difficult. Why can't I grab my picture here? I want to fix the picture. Anyway, but yeah, it made it, I just played lousy when there was a referee involved. I don't know what to tell you. So I had to get over that. And I eventually did, and now I'm playing in other events, tournaments, and I'm dealing with it. I do much better. But I can tell you the first few years, although I played basketball my whole life, I consider myself a pretty decent basketball player. As soon as there was a ref on the court, clock running, I was like, "Hey, what's the ball? How do you play?" I was terrible. Couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot, couldn't pass. Oh yes, if I'll lose weight, I need to play 1,000 games in a row. Get to work. No, you need to play more stressful games. You need to play a game that matters. You need to go play somebody in the park for $10 a game, and you'll lose some weight. That's what it takes. Yeah, you got to be playing under stress. So yeah, we got this game in. This game is good. This game, obviously, we lost. We don't know what happened at the end. We have a problem with the score at the end of this one. Right? This was the one. Oh no, this one was okay. Oh, we got 2 games in. Excellent. We have 2 games in, and this one Sudakus won also. All right, so that's 2 wins for Sudakus. This one I know we don't have a good score, and I can't remember if he was black or he was black in this game. So I need to change the orientation. He was black in that game. He was white in this game because he won, and he was white and black in this game. I need to change the orientation. There we go. I want to save these for posterity. You sweat already. Yeah, well, sweat, you'll lose weight. What do they call it? Water weight. You'll lose water weight. I'm not saying it's the greatest weight loss program in the world, but you can lose weight. All right, so we probably won't see the results of his last 2 games, although I do. I go in and I check, and I will go check because I want to know. I want to know if he wins, because if he wins his next 2 games, there are people up here that haven't lost a game yet. We have. Let me move this over for you guys. Oops. Okay, where's my... results. Here we go. So there you go. All right. Hello. All right. All right. So, our man Manuel, that's Joseph Mansour down here, and Manuel is up here at 16. All right. So, Manuel Sudakus up here from Wisconsin, and his tentative rating was 10-12. 10-12. And he has 3 points, 1 loss. So the people in tied for first place through a lot, through 10th place, all have no losses. All have no losses. So this is tough. This is tough. You get 1 loss, like in the Mayhem tournament, you get 1 loss, you might not have a chance to win. Because now these guys should be playing each other. These 4 O guys are playing each other. So if you look right up here, if you look over to on this column, right? You look on this column. Sorry, you look at the round 5 column. The top 10 guys, all without a loss, have to play each other. And if you look, all the opponents are A9, A10, A2, A1. They're playing each other. They are playing each other. And then you have those with 3.5 will play each other. So 12 is playing 11. Then 15 has 3.5, but there are no more 3.5, so 15 has to play a 3-0 person. He gets put into the 3-0 pool, you split him, you bring it up and you put it up. So he has a nice draw. The 3.5 has a nice draw because he has no losses. He has a nice draw in the fact that he got to play a 15. No, actually he doesn't have a nice draw. It's the guy right next to him. Never mind. I thought he was playing somebody a lot lower. He's not. A 33. 14 with 3.0 is playing a lot lower. Okay. So he's playing 15. He skipped 1. Okay. I don't know why they did. Well, maybe he already played him. He might have already played him. And but anyway, so or the color. You also have to alternate colors. So you'll switch that up too. So Sudakus is ending up playing, he's in 16th, he's playing somebody in 22nd, although they have the same record, 3-0. So Sudakus wins that, he'll have 4-0, but there'll be half of these people, most likely, because there aren't that many draws at this level, half of these people, there's 10 of them with no losses. 5 of them will probably have 5 points, and 5 of them will have 4 points, right? 5 will win, 5 will lose. Out of the 3.5s, if 2 of the 3.5s win, you'll have 5 people with 5 points. You'll have 2 people with 4.5 points, and then you'll have 5 people or more, it could have a lot more, with 4 points, because if Sudakus wins, he'll have 4 points. So then you'll have 5 people at the top of the chart with 5 wins. They get to play each other, plus one of the 4.5s would move up. So in logic is that you have 6 players playing for first, second, and third, because if 3 of them win and not draw, if 3 of them win, they're guaranteed first, second, and third. And so Sudakus, who could finish with 5 points, would still be behind because 3 of them will end up with 6 or 5.5. So he's out of the running for the money. But he's not in it for the money. He's in it for the fun, for the experience, and just playing, right? I mean, it's just like a bucket list thing. It's a once in a lifetime, maybe not once, he gets to play in this. I told him we got to go check because the Chicago Open, Chicago puts on some really big chess tournaments. And from Wisconsin, that's a hop, and from Indiana, that's a hop, and we can meet up and play in a tournament in Chicago together. So that's maybe in the future coming, guys. All right, so again, I won't know what he's finished up with. I mean, we could keep streaming for 2 more hours and see if he shows up, but that's illogical. So what we're going to do is we're going to see you tomorrow. I normally give a lesson at 1 o'clock tomorrow, a one-on-one lesson, 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'm not doing that tomorrow. All right, I'm not doing that tomorrow. Instead, what I'm doing tomorrow is at 8 o'clock, I'll be back on again giving you an update on Sudakus. Okay? So that'll be probably our last night. And at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I might very well stay on extra long and hope he could join us. And so I don't even know what time their rounds end. So it's 3 hours difference. So 10 o'clock here, it's going to be 7 o'clock there. So hopefully he gets over his headache, hopefully he gets some aspirin, hopefully he can relax, hopefully he can get out of the heat. Rejuvenated, come back tomorrow, have another chance to win some money. But again, that's not the reason, but it's always fun to try, right? So we can hope for that. All right. I got to mow the lawn. Believe it or not, I mowed half the lawn. I got enough sunlight to mow the rest of the lawn. Okay, I got to mow the lawn. Now, Flavia, you sent me on SudacusChess that one of our new streamers in your club is streaming right now. Can you tell me who it is so we can go find them? Or tell me who you want me. Let's see. TK is on. I like TK. We raid TK pretty often. But if you could tell me who else that you want me to, you said you had a new guy. Flavio has found us a new guy. So I'll tell you guys about it. Flavio, for streamers only. Can I tell him Flavio? Maybe I'll wait till you tell me. Oh, I know Johnny D. Is he on the team? We know Johnny D, but he's not streaming. I used to follow Johnny. Maybe I don't follow him anymore. I don't remember if I follow him. Oh, there he is. He's streaming chess. Yeah, I can't believe I'm not following him. That's funny. Hey, you're welcome, bro. Anytime. Okay, so I can tell him about it. So, Flavio started a club for streamers, chess streamers, to play together as a team on SudacusChess. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm still waiting to get the details about like what teams we're going to play against, how we're going to find team matches, because everybody that'll be on our team will be chess streamers. So that's kind of neat, and we get to another building our community a little bit, connecting with. And as far as I understand, Flavio is picky. He's one of 2 leaders for this club on SudacusChess. So first of all, you have to be a chess streamer, but he's also very picky. So if you don't want to get your feelings hurt and you're not a nice guy, don't ask. But yeah, Flavio gets to curate and make sure that the streamers are streamers we'd all feel good about streaming with, working with, right? That's part of it. There's a lot of chess streamers out there, guys, but we try to find people that we feel good to work with. And so there you go. So I've changed, I had changed my follows. I definitely changed my follows. I don't know why Johnny D dropped off. I like Johnny. So I don't know why and he's not showing up. I click on him, I get a whisper, but I'm not showing him on here. And he's still my friend. I don't get it. He's still a friend. Am I not following him? That's weird. Because he's showing up as online friends. It's showing me that he's streaming chess, that he's online right now streaming chess. But I don't know why he's not up here. Follow channels. Let me do more. No, he's still not showing up. So he's still my friend, but maybe I stopped following him? That's weird. All right, let's follow him first, and then let's go rate him. All right, we like Johnny D. We do like him. Like I said, I'm surprised that I'm not following him. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he dropped off somehow. All right, guys, go check out Johnny D. Catch up with me tomorrow. Oops, I don't think that's the right place. Catch me tomorrow, and I will be 8 o'clock giving you the last update. And maybe on Monday we'll have a meeting with Sudakus. He usually streams during the day, but he is going to be traveling. So he might not be able to get on, but if he can, I might even stream for him through his channel on Monday at his normal time. And maybe we could get him on Zoom and he could just chat up and talk to you guys and tell you all about the tournament from his point of view. All right, I've been trying to share with you some of his ups and downs and highs and lows, and we've looked over some of his games. Tomorrow we could go over those games in a little bit more depth, hopefully. All right, guys, we will see you later. Have a great night. It's Saturday. Behave yourselves. Don't get into trouble. And see you tomorrow. tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Not my normal time. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.